Visualization is something that you could do to cause you to be a match to what's in your vortex. That's the point of visualization. You already created it. So when you visualize it, it makes you in your now and you in your vortex one, and now it can manifest. But if it's in your vortex, and it is, and you're trying to visualize it and can't, now you're arguing for your limitations. Now you're trying too hard. Now you're not relaxed. Now you're not having fun. Now you're not letting it in. It's interesting to watch so many of you take the work that we encourage you to do, the processes, and do the same thing with it that you were doing before you knew about it. You struggle in the work, or you try too hard in the work, or you take too much score in the work, or you compare yourself with others. I want to talk for a minute about comparison. Oh, this matters so much. The comparison that humans experience is a step one exercise, so it's a good thing. How are you going to know what you want if you don't know what you don't want? So your vortex exists because of comparison. So let your comparison be those step one moments where I know I don't want that, I want that, and I don't want that, I want that. Comparison. Or I'd like to live the way that person lives, or I'd like to have the money that that person has, or I wouldn't want to live in poverty like that person. In other words, comparison helps you to define, to decide what it is that you want. But once you are decided in a moment to focus on step 3 rather than step 1, what's step 3? Let it in. Now, the comparison work is comparing the emotions to the emotions, comparing your vibrational chart to your vibrational chart, your emotional guidance scale, comparing which is the same as to say, we've not said this to you before, which is the same as to say, compare your vibrational happening to the vibrational happening of your inner being. Your emotions are your indicator of that all the time. So your awareness of the way you feel is your awareness of the comparison, the productive comparison between what you're letting in, what part of your vortex which you have created are you letting in, or are you not letting in? The better your mood, the more you're letting it in. That's when Esther calls that, she'll say, the magic's back, or I'm in my zone. I can feel that somehow I've managed to find that sweet spot where I'm in alignment with my desires, and now the universe is showing me a piece of it through this interaction, and a piece of it through this interaction, and a piece of it through this interaction. And as you allow more and more of that, you come to realize that while feeling like that often is the path to a steady unfolding of big ticket items that you care about, big important events like relationships and successful businesses and happiness. It's also about this encounter along the way that was a lovely way to live this part of my life. So going back to the question about timing, wouldn't it be nice if you were so oriented to your expectation of good things coming to you? Esther's little bumper sticker kind of thing that lays on her dashboard that says things are always working out for me. Things are always working out for me. Wouldn't it be nice if your knowledge that things are always working out for you was so in place that you could relax and enjoy the deliciousness of witnessing the things working out for you? Wouldn't it be nice if you could come to realize that, oh yes, you're moving along that path, you're moving along that trail to those big fruitions, to those big manifestations. But ooh, isn't it lovely to laugh with these people and to contemplate with these and to enjoy a lovely meal with these and and to share a moment in time with a critter that you haven't seen before. Yesterday, Esther heard the big black birds in the trees. They are ravens, and they are building nests in the big trees around her house. She's been watching them flying around with sticks and twigs and all manner of things, knowing that they have put together some pretty exciting nests while she can't see them. And yesterday she heard a ruckus from these birds, and she went outside. There were 15 birds in the sky, flying in circles, and every one of them commenting loudly. And Esther stood on her deck. A wildcat just came sauntering down the path and off into the bushes. And Esther said, "Oh, so you are what all this ruckus was about." It was such a delicious moment in time to see the sensitivity of these birds and their response and their conversation with each other. She thought they were sounding alarm to each other, but it was not alarm. It was definiteness of purpose. It was decision. It was, this is what we do when this happens. And Esther watched this cat, this wildcat, not a domestic cat, a wildcat, a cub, not full grown by any means. She watched it move down the trail much faster now that these birds had let it know that they were aware of it. In other words, it is a cat, but the birds had it outnumbered, and they had definiteness of purpose. What a nice timing that was. Was it on Esther's list of things to do today? It was not literally. Was it on Esther's lists of things to see? Not literally. Was it on Esther's list of living happily ever after? Yeah. Exciting things in her life? Yeah. First time experiences? Yeah. She's never been that close to a wild animal before. A wild animal who had no interest whatsoever in her. The birds were doing a good job of distracting it from everyone. Wouldn't it be nice if you were moving down your path in close connection like these birds to your inner being or higher self? Someone asked the question, what's the difference? Just different words. Wouldn't it be nice if your alignment was so known by you, understood by you, that you just went from peak to peak, from moment to moment of, oh, that was fun. Oh, that was interesting. Oh, that was delicious. Oh, I really liked that. You're at the point in life that you could do that, you know. You have created a vortex that can keep you happily supplied. And anyway, you can't help but move to it because life is just that way. So there will always be enough supply to keep you living happily ever after. The question is, how are you tuned? What are you doing about your tuning? How do you feel? Do you care about how you feel? What are you doing about how you feel? The precision of timing follows the precision of you allowing. Life gets you focused. Life can cause you to focus in opposition to what you want. As you figure out that blend between what you want and where you're focused, the timing can be instantaneous. In other words, if Esther is wanting a fast gallop through the woods, she doesn't seek out a donkey. Life has shown her that there are easier avenues. And so as you move through life experience, not only does your desire increase as it parlays into greater and greater desire, but your ability to expect improves. This is important. This is for almost all of you, for some things that are frustrating to you right here and now. If you have a stubborn desire, you have a pattern of arguing for your limitation, of telling a story of what's not working and explaining why it's not. And if you have that pattern, it's likely because there are people around you who are demanding answers from you, or at least expecting answers from you, or that you have decided need answers from you. That's what justification is. And we want, with everything that we are, for you to get that out of your system as fast as you can. We want you to calibrate between you and your inner being, who is not demanding anything of you, who will never solicit from you a need to explain or justify. Your inner being is never saying to you, well, why didn't that work out? Or why didn't you get that done? Or what's taking you so long? Or your inner being is never asking those kinds of questions. But you've been trained into that kind of expectation by people around you who don't have a clue what they're doing in terms of deliberate creation. They're just looking at stuff and reporting in, sort of like the news. Just looking at manifestations, mostly manifestations that are unwanted, and then repeating it and regurgitating it to you as if you need to do something about it. But you know what? After it's manifested, there's nothing to be done about it because you're starting anew from where you are. You're standing on this bouncing off place at all times. So if you will understand that your inner being is not asking you to explain, and you stop acting like you need to explain, just go about what you're doing with an attitude of fun and watch how quickly the things that are in your vortex that you've been putting there for much of your life experience will move right into your experience for you to behold and enjoy. This new way of looking at this stronger way of looking at this more definiteness of purpose way of looking at this will yield you many results in the days that follow this day than you've been experiencing before. If you are hearing our message here, you've got to lighten up. You did the step 1, we've done the step 2, the law of attraction is all over it. You've got to have fun, relax, and everything will come. So, how does timing work? In the moment you stop holding it away, it comes in. It's already flowing to you. In the moment that you stop holding it away, it comes in. How do you know you're holding it away? You feel fear or insecurity or anger or jealousy or worry or blame. But Abraham, I'm justified. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that you have memories that make you feel that you're right in that justification. It doesn't matter that you were right in that argument. It was still an argument, and you're still resisting, and it's still keeping you from getting what you want.